It's good to be here with you today again, and I'm just hoping I make this video really quick. I want to give a response to a comment on my last video. The video was about moving on, like walking into another relationship or a marriage right after a toxic relationship is done and over with. All right, so you just walked out of a toxic relationship, and of course, you need to move on, And I suggested that it is better you take your time to heal, we take our time to heal before walking into another relationship. And I gave my reasons. And then somebody asked a question, an important one, and that's, what of people who choose to heal by jumping into another relationship, like you just start dating somebody else and use that person as your rebound, and just get over the other person. So it's like instead of dealing with the pain, you're using this person to mask it. You're using that person to heal yourself. You don't want to deal with the pain. Now, if you don't deal with the pain, how do you learn? And if you don't learn, how do you get better? Now, truth is, this is how people keep taking their mistakes from one relationship to another, and they just have a whole lot of relationships, too many exes, because they are never learning. Sometimes, people who like to rebound, even before the relationship they are into actually ends, they already have somebody else on the side they have been flirting. So they feel like, okay, this looks like it might end, and they don't want to work on it, because truth is, if you actually do want to work on your relationship, you can make it work. See, whatever happened in this relationship that made it end, if you repeat the same thing in your next relationship, you're more likely to have the same results. Because how do you keep doing something the same way and you want a different result? Like how? Just how? So, rebounding may work for some people, but it's not safe. And in most cases, it doesn't really work. I'll tell you why I say so. Now, because rebounding is one of the reasons we have a lot of people who are not over their exes, because they never dealt with their emotions. They never dealt with what was happening, right? And they never got healed. And then they jumped into this one. So you find somebody who is already in another relationship and still, feels attached to their exes, still missing their ex. They still want to maintain a relationship with their ex. And if something happens, they don't mind jumping into bed with their ex. And then sometimes they leave the new person and go back to the ex, because they never dealt with the emotion. And you just see how you create more problems for yourself, and then other people who are who gets involved with you as well. It doesn't make sense. And that's because you never healed, you never dealt with what you were supposed to deal with, you never learned the lesson. Then how do you get better? How do you get better? By masking your emotions. How do you get better? By using somebody else to blind what you're supposed to be seeing. You don't want to feel pain. You don't want to deal. You don't want to be accountable. All right, so I'm going to say, as much as some people like to rebound, as much as some people like to jump into new relationships and use that to heal, it's still not healthy. It is not healthy. Now, one of the disadvantages of doing that as well is that because you are not completely healed, because you were not even healed at all before jumping into another relationship, and you're still tied to your ex emotionally, which is just normal, and it's going to take some time, to wear off. So because that's the situation, sometimes people don't know, while some actually know and use that as a manipulative measure. They consciously or unconsciously make their present dates, right, whoever they're with at the moment, compete with their ex. Yes, they make comments, they say things, they talk about their exes. They're always talking about their exes because they're not over their exes. And the ex The ex probably starts looking at you as the reason they even left the relationship, and the ex has issues with you, who is just some innocent person that had nothing to do with whatever happened between the two of them. And if you're not careful, as the new dates, what do I call you now? But if you're not careful, you're put in a position where you are always competing with the ex. If you have self-esteem issues, if you don't have enough self-esteem, you're more likely to find yourself in a situation where you are competing with this wonderful ex, or this terrible ex whom you either should do better than. You understand me, right? It's messy, really. It's messy. So really, just heal. Take your time and heal.